Hey love, I'm Gena, a fitness, nutrition, and self-love coach, helping high-achieving women heal their relationship with food in their bodies so they can finally feel free, strong, and confident in their own skin. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of restriction, binging, and body shame, trust me, you are not alone. On this podcast, we're calling out diet culture BS, building your dream body without the obsession, and getting real about what it actually means to love yourself in a world that constantly tells you not to. I've been there. Anorexia, binge eating, body hate, you name it, I've lived it. And now I help women just like you find food freedom, feel sexy in their skin, and take their damn power back. So get ready, because the Fit Without Obsession podcast starts now. Have you ever told yourself, I'm just listening to my body, but deep down you're not sure if you're actually being kind to yourself or if you're just sliding into excuses? Everyone struggles with this question, especially high achievers who live in extremes, whether we're all in or we're all out. And this is where so many women get stuck, caught between hustle culture screaming, no days off, and self-care culture whispering, rest is productive. And you're left wondering, am I caring for myself or am I self-sabotaging? By the end of this episode, you'll know how to spot the difference and stop second-guessing every choice you make. You'll learn how to rest without guilt and how to call yourself out lovingly when you're just avoiding the work. I want to go into why this is such a common struggle. If you're a high achiever, you probably lived in extremes. You go hard every single day or you do absolutely nothing. Balance feels foreign, almost like failure, and that's why this decision feels so confusing. I used to dance 6 days a week, lift weights, do extra cardio just in case, and the one day I skipped, I spiraled with guilt. Later, when I swung the other direction, I tell myself I deserve a break every single day. Neither one was listening to my body. They were both fear-driven choices. I couldn't find that happy medium, right? I was either overexerting, totally burnt out, or I was on the couch all day, no steps, lazy, just want to sleep. I couldn't find a good happy middle ground. The reason that you are confused is because diet culture trained you to ignore your body, and self-sabotage trained you to fear discipline. So I want to go into what true rest looks and feels like so that you can really understand the difference, again, between a really productive, amazing rest day, which you deserve and need, but also kind of getting into the self-sabotage place. Rest is needed when you're exhausted, even after sleeping, when your muscles feel heavy instead of sore, when the thought of movement makes you feel dread instead of excited. Rest is when your body is whispering to you, I need recovery to come back stronger, not just I'm not in the mood. So here are some signs that you genuinely need rest and your body is really, truly asking for it. So you might feel physical signs. You might have persistent soreness, heavy fatigue, reoccurring injuries, just feeling like you're not making any progress in the gym. You're feeling plateaued. You're feeling exhausted. But also, you could have mental struggles as well. You could feel brain fog. You might be extra irritable. You might not be able to focus as much. And then emotionally, you could dread movement completely, and especially movement that you used to enjoy, right? So I know for me, I love being in the gym, but if I'm in a place where I need a rest day and I've been overdoing it, the last thing I want to do is show up in the gym. And a rest day does not equate to doing nothing, because we can actually add in a lot of restorative rest into our life. And that could look like walking, it could look like stretching, or really just practicing mobility or breath work. So I think so much of the time we think that rest days, we picture us just on the couch with potato chips, watching Netflix for 12 hours. And while that is not a bad thing and definitely can be a part of your life, you can actually have, rest days that you're still moving through, right? Especially if you crave movement. I know for me, I am someone that needs movement in their day-to-day life, especially for my mental health. So that doesn't mean that I have to completely put a pause on it, but it does mean I have to do it in a way that is going to restore me and rejuvenate me. So active rest is really what we can start to incorporate to, again, find that balance where we're not going to those extremes. rest doesn't have to mean Netflix all day. Even though, again, sometimes it does, rest can also be a walk with your dog. It could be stretching, it could be yoga, journaling, or even just taking a slower gym day. Again, I've mentioned this in previous episodes that your muscles don't grow in the gym. They actually grow when you're resting. So when you rest, you're not falling behind. You're actually allowing yourself to level up. Now that we kind of know what rest can feel like, let's go into what self-sabotage can look and feel like. Sabotage often sounds like, I'll start tomorrow. It's just one day. I deserve this. But the truth is, you're not giving yourself what you deserve if it leaves you feeling worse. I want you to sit with that thought. Like, if you feel shittier after, then we are falling into a self-sabotage cycle. So this could look like skipping movement out of avoidance rather than true need. Again, thoughts like, I'll start tomorrow, that one day I skip isn't going to matter. I deserve to skip the gym today because I already messed up, so like whatever. But we need to recognize this pattern, right? And really ask yourself, like, is this a one-off choice or is this a repeated avoidance cycle? Because it's okay too to like have a day where like motivation's low and you just like literally need a mental health day and you're just like, I can't do anything. Like, I'm not going to say that that's not like acceptable. Like, that definitely is. And that's something that you can do. Like, if you're consistent in the gym, if you're showing up, if you're taking regular, active rest days, but just you're not feeling it this week and like it's the first week in a while and you just literally need a day, like that's okay. But again, if this is a repeated avoidance cycle, if we're falling into this trap every single week or even once a month, like that can add up, right? So we want to make sure that we get on top of this and understand that it's not rest, it's bad, but we need to make sure that we are not sabotaging our goals, because that's when we're getting in the way of us feeling like our best self, of us feeling accomplished, of us getting stronger when we want to be. So again, notice the energy afterwards. Rest is going to leave you feeling restored when sabotage is going to leave you feeling guilty, drained, and even less motivated the next day. Because again, it's a ripple effect, right? Like when we rest and we do it in a way that is productive, in a way that our body is really needing, our mind is really needing, like we're going to feel rejuvenated going into the next day. We're going to feel excited to get back to the gym, excited to get that lift in. But when we are sabotaging ourselves, it's going to feel harder and harder to get into a normalized rhythm or continue to keep up the habits that you're trying to keep up. If the voice in your head is selling you comfort now but regret later, that's not rest. That is sabotage in disguise. So you kind of can understand the difference now, but it's hard, again, to like know what your body is asking for, your mind is asking for sometimes. Sometimes we get really stuck in that, should I rest? Should I not? Why am I wanting to rest? Like, it can be hard. And that's actually something that I really truly help my one-on-one clients with. This is something that comes up a lot, and we really work through it so that they can trust themselves and find that true balance within them. But there are 3 questions that we can really start to use to check in. So the first one is, what does my body physically feel right now? Like, really tune in, really take a second to actually body scan. I feel like a lot of us might have like some awareness of our mind. We might have some awareness of like our physical body, but like we don't really take the time to truly like pause, stop, and like really reflect within and like see how we are feeling. Like, again, we might have some sort of idea. You might be kind of tired. You might be kind of stressed out, but like really taking time to go through and ask yourself, like, what do I need? Like, that is going to be a huge determiner of like what we're going to do moving forward, if we're going to sabotage or if we're going to rest in a great way that's going to refill your cup. So the second thing that we need to ask ourselves is, what's my true intention for skipping today? Is it recovery or is it avoidance? Is it literally that you've been working hard all week, you have been like busting your butt in the gym, you've been hitting your PRs, and like you just feel like you're getting tapped out? Like, we need to have recovery time, right? But also, like, have you been skipping the gym all week because you've been staying up late and, eating snacks right before bed and watching TV and then not getting up at a good time for you to get that workout in? Like, are we avoiding you really committing to that goal? The third check-in question I want you to give yourself is, how will I feel after? Am I going to feel peaceful or am I going to feel guilty? And what I mean by this is like after the rest day, right? Like, are you going to feel at ease with yourself? Are you going to feel good? Are you going to feel like you are doing a service to yourself? Or are you going to feel like shit? Are you going to feel bad for skipping once again? I also think, like, even on top of this question, how are you going to feel after a workout? That's another way to kind of reframe this too, because when we really need that rest day, like if we ask ourselves that question, if you're like, okay, I've been going to the gym all week, like I'm kind of debating if I want to go for a run tomorrow, like I don't know what I want to do, but like sometimes, like for me, I know when I've like exerted myself for the week, if I go on a run, I might even get a headache, like if I have done too much, right? So like in that moment, like if I'm going to feel worse after, like it probably would be better for me to rest. But like most of the time, I will say, like I've even had a client message me today of like, I never feel worse after a workout. Like, and that shows that she has found a good balanced rhythm, because she does take regular rest days, but she is also working and pushing herself in the gym, right? If it's rest, I want you to own it fully too. So like if you decide you've gone through this check-in questions and you're like, okay, I think my body needs rest, you need to own it fully. You need to release the guilt. You need to go all in on that recovery day. And if it's sabotage, you need to call yourself out and just do your minimums. So examples of this is that you could set a baseline. Maybe it's 10 minutes of movement. Maybe it's a walk, a stretch, one lift. That way you end up honoring your goals without slipping into the all or nothing trap. So like if you're really not feeling it motivation wise, maybe you're not going to be able to push yourself to do that whole hour-long workout. Like maybe that's just not plausible for you, right? Like it might be a sabotage day. Can we do some small step that is going to get you towards that bigger version of yourself? Can we show up in some small way? Again, even if it's just 10 minutes, that is still meaningful. It's still going to be way better than you couch rotting and feeling like shit afterwards that you didn't do anything. Discipline and self-compassion are not enemies. They're actually teammates. The magic is knowing when to lean into which one. Now, I want to start talking about too, like, how are we going to build this trust with yourself? And I want to normalize that, of course, this feels hard. Like, you have been conditioned to not trust yourself. Like, that's point blank period. Like, we have been conditioned to not trust yourself. And healing is about reps. It's not perfection. So, like, the way that we're going to heal, the way that you're going to really start to be able to decipher, is this rest? Is this self-sabotage? Like, what is the calling factor in my decision when it comes to me showing up in the gym or not? The more and more you do that, the more that you are going to get to that healed place and understand that and find that trust. Every time you choose rest intentionally, you're going to build that trust. Every time you show up when you didn't want to, you build trust. That trust adds up until your body cues feel more clear and you stop living in the gray zone of doubt. The more consistently you practice intentional rest and intentional movement, the more you'll recognize the difference. And you can experiment with this too. Like if you're not sure, just choose one rest day. Move in the next, and then notice how you feel afterwards. Reflection teaches you more than rules ever will. So really, if you're not really sure about this and you do want to find this trust and like you still feel like you're kind of like stuck in this middle zone of like not knowing if it's rest or self-sabotage, then again, take moments of reflection. Write down how you feel. Literally journal about it so that you can look back and figure out the pattern that makes sense for you. Rest is not the enemy. Laziness is not the enemy either. The real enemy is living in a cycle of guilt and confusion that keeps you from moving forward. You can rest and still be disciplined. You can push yourself and still be compassionate. And that balance, that's where freedom and results actually live. You know, if this episode hit home, I want you to share with a friend who's stuck in the same, am I resting or am I avoiding spiral? And if you are tired of constantly second guessing yourself, this is the exact work we do inside my one-on-one coaching program, Fit Without Obsession. It's where we build your dream body and a healed relationship with food and movement at the same time. You definitely don't have to figure this out alone. Again, start checking in with yourself. Start building that trust within yourself. But also, it's not a bad thing to reach out and find support during this time period so that you can have someone help guide you through making these decisions for yourself of whether you should rest or whether you should push through. Thank you so much for tuning into the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode helped you heal, grow, or just feel a little less alone, go ahead and hit the follow button so that you never miss a moment of this journey. And if you loved it, share it on your stories and tag me at @thefitbean_. I seriously love seeing what resonates. Sharing this podcast helps more women step out of a session and into their power. And that ripple effect starts with you. And if you're ready for deeper support, check the show notes for ways that we can work together. Just remember, eat the pasta, wear the shorts, and love the hell out of your life. You deserve it always. Talk soon.